This episode matters for two counterintuitive reasons. The first is you are using the word narcissist wrong, period. You're using it to cover up difficult situations that you might be able to address if you stuck with it. Second, provocative, counterintuitive point. You probably want to be a little more of a narcissist in your management and leadership. I wouldn't mind occasionally being a little more certain of myself. I wouldn't mind taking a few more gambles and being a little less conservative. Obviously, there's a fine line, but there may be more. I know this sounds insane to say, but there may be something to be gained by adopting a little more, slightly more narcissistic behavior. That's all that I'm saying. I don't mean that in the definition of the word that people use, and they're not, they're using it to mean a totally self-centered person. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the way that the management literature defines narcissism.
It's aggrandizement. It's focused on aggrandizement.
Yeah, that means that I feel like I'm a little better.
It means that like you look at a situation and you think, why not?
Yes, I can do this. Does that sound like anything bad?
As long as you're not as long as it's functional, you're not destroying all the relationships. So like one of the key, because there's aggrandizement that's in. So here's the difference between the psychology version, the pathological narcissism, and then the one that we're talking about, is that in the pathological one, relationships are impaired and it's not functional. And there's like a fragility and a shame that is often associated with it. So the more pathological narcissism is like when somebody is aggrandizing themselves, but then they're shutting down anyone who might present evidence that would shatter their image of themselves because they actually can't handle that. Whereas, what they're measuring with CEOs, they don't specifically measure frailty, but these people must not be frail because most of them have had the management narcissism, because their track record going through their career, they've been bold the whole time. And most people don't have track records where they can be a bold and extreme and take these risks the whole time and not have a setback. And these people got back up and they continued on. And so I think they didn't, as far as I know, in the research that I've read, they didn't cover the frailty of that. You could say only focused on operationalizing aggrandizement. But I think that the likely track record of these CEOs to be CEOs rules out frailty.
Right. Yeah, because they're getting back up. They're actually resilient.
Right.
Yeah. And you're in the psychology definition, what about the feelings of others? Do they measure that? Like aren't the psychological narcissists, aren't they charming,
they don't have good,
but they don't care about the feelings of others?
I don't know if they measure that, but basically one of the ways that they're defining them is that they're not functional in terms of relationships.
Right.
So that kind of indicates that. I'm just not sure. Like I haven't gone that deep on the psychology side because I'm in management.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it causes a problem in two ways. The one that I've talked about already at length is it causes a problem when people take this word and they think, well, I'm dealing with a narcissist. And so there's nothing that can be done. And that's in almost every time. And I mean, in an average year, people say this to us in coaching, probably 10, 15 times?
Oh, I mean, anytime they have a problem with somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've never actually met a psychological narcissist. The person they're describing, a lot of times we know them.
I've seen them.
Yeah, they're out there. They're out there, but it's not the people. This word has become popular in the last probably 3 years.
Yeah.
And now everybody's using it incorrectly. But the other thing that people confuse is that they read that famous study, and is it by Hambrick, about whatever percentage of CEOs of Fortune 500 companies are likely to be narcissists.
That's Hambrick.
And so they're doing it from the face on the, the face on
So here are the measures that they have.
Yeah.
Prominence of the CEO photo.
Right.
CEO prominence in company press releases. First person singular pronouns. And CEO cash compensation.
Right. And so
it's definitely aggrandizement, right?
Yeah. Puffing up the CEO and her or his importance. I get that. I understand. But people then take that and say, CEOs are so narcissistic. They only care about themselves. They don't care about other people. And that's
not what that measures.
That is not what this research was getting at.
In fact, they've usually been very good at having good enough relationships where people wanted to pull them up.
Yes. So let's tell them about all the times people claim that they're dealing with a narcissist and then how we help them actually work the problem.
Okay, you go for it.
All right. So here's some free coaching for you nerds out there. The next time your mind is inclined to say you're dealing with a narcissist, ask, do we just disagree and I want something and they want something else and they're not giving ground? And then if so, stop focusing on the thing that you have that's not in common and pull back instead and see if you can create a bridge between the things that you do have in common. And if you're working with or married with somebody who's actually doesn't care about other people, only cares about themselves, what's the others? What's the clinical one? The clinical?
They have a frailty and they carry a lot of shame.
So that means they can't absorb feedback.
Mm-hmm.
If that is the person that you're working with or dealing with, I'm sorry. That is very, very hard. Mm-hmm. And they need help and you need to do your best. And they need
a lot of help for a long, long time.
Yeah. But listen to me, nerds.
You're probably not with
that
those
almost people. Never is the person you're actually dealing with. You're dealing with a more normal person who you're having a disagreement with, and they're not giving ground. And we're not giving ground either.
Well, yeah, because you're basically finding a reason to not.
Yep.
And so, a little curiosity would go a long way on that.
It's not helpful. We're using it far too much as an excuse.
All right. If you made it this far.
They did make it this far.
Hit subscribe.
You have to, because that's how we're going to get some of these royalties on, some of these management royalties on the show. More subscribers.
Yes. But also, hopefully, you found it useful, and that's why you want to subscribe. And it's a really easy way for you to support us.
I'm talking about for me. I'm a narcissist. We didn't even learn that in this episode.